Recording in progress.
Welcome, everyone, to the December 15th, 2025 regular Board of Aldermen meeting. Would everybody please join with me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Alderman Plufka.
Here.
Alderwoman Tice.
Here.
Alderwoman Gold.
Here.
Alderwoman Sims.
Here.
Alderman Lockmiller.
Here.
Alderman Gould.
Here.
Alderwoman Harder.
Here.
Alderman Erger.
Here. Thank you. Next up is approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes? Any objection to approving the same by acclamation? Seeing none, it will be so approved. Brings us down to the public hearing, which we have none tonight. Citizen comments. Anybody in the public care to address the board? Now's the time to do so. All we ask is that you go to that podium right there, state your name and your address, and you'll be given up to 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mayor.
Certainly, Barry.
Barry Williams, 9001 Pine Avenue, Ward 1, Brentwood. When I arrived as a child in Brentwood with my family in 1960, there were 14 curious houses in Brentwood that were porcelain enamel steel. And they were about 10 years old at that point. They had been installed around 1950. And, I grew up with them here in town, never really thought too much about them other than they looked very unusual. They were distinctive. They stood out from the other homes. And just a few years ago, I finally got curious enough to start investigating and researching them. They are, of course, the Lustron Corporation homes that were built for just 2 years' time in Columbus, Ohio, right at the conclusion of World War II, like 1948 through 1950. There were only 2,498 of these houses ever built. And Brentwood, amazingly, ended up with 14 of them. And when you divide that by our 1.9 square mile land mass or our 8,000 population, it turns out that Brentwood has a very large percent, a very high per capita and per square mile tally of these houses, and unfortunately, we've lost 3 of them in the last decade. We lost 3, one each on Joseph, Henrietta, and Genevieve, but we still have 11 left. And again, when you look at houses around cities around the country, we have a very high concentration of these still, and they're very unique houses. They have worn well over the last 70 years. And what's interesting, too, is not only do we still have 11 of them, but we've got 8 of them in a row, in a pristine, uninterrupted row of 8 in the 8900 block of Lidsinger Road. I'm sure you've all seen them on the south side of Lidsinger between Anna Lee and High School Drive. And based on my research and talking with people who know more about Lustrons than I do, it looks as though Brentwood has the distinction of having the longest continuous row of uninterrupted Lustron houses in the world. And I think that's something to crow about, frankly. And the reason I'm here tonight is I would like to suggest that the city try to find some funds to install a roadside historic marker to let the world know that we have something special here, that we have this very unusual, complete, uninterrupted row of 8 Lustron homes. Some are in very good condition, some are not as good condition. But I'm hoping that maybe with some publicity, with a marker like that, residents and visitors will take this more seriously. They'll pay more attention to it and appreciate what we've got here. I do think it's something to crow about. And I've got 2 friends here with me this evening. I've got Stephen Johnson, who owns 2 of the 8 Lustrons on Lidsinger. He doesn't live in them, and he can tell you more about that. But he owns 2 of the 8. Charlotte Ellis was going to be with us tonight. She owns and occupies 1 of the 8. She's not feeling well tonight. And then I also have Peter Wallenberg, who's an architectural historian who knows a lot more about the Lustrons than I do in terms of their historical significance. Thank you.
Thanks, Barry.
Hi, I'm Peter Wallenberg, 2612 Clifton Avenue, 63139. So, not a Brentwood resident, but I'm an architectural conservator, and I've given a number of talks on this subject, including one in the library here in 2003. And I also was interviewed for the Channel 9 Living St. Louis episode on luster-run houses about a year ago or so. So I just want to help Barry sort of reiterate why these houses are important. They were prefabricated houses that were part of the answer to the government's dire need to address the severe housing shortage after World War II. So they're all metal, as Barry said. They're all metal inside and out, including the roofs. The only thing that isn't metal is the vinyl tile and the concrete foundation. And they're all enameled steel. They were composed of 3,000 parts that were all fabricated in the factory at the Curtiss Wright factory in Columbus, Ohio, and then delivered to job sites all over the country on one truck. That alone is a remarkable feat. And lustrons were built in every state east of the Rockies. And as Barry said, they're almost 2,500. That number, some people have slightly different numbers, but it's about 2,500. So they were planned. Carl Strandlund, who was behind the whole project, wanted to build 30,000. That's what he promised, but only 2,500 got built. And St. Louis had at least 71 of those houses, which is double the number in the entire state. And within St. Louis, Webster had the largest number, about 21. And as Barry said, Brentwood had 14. We now have 11. And what makes Brentwood particularly important is that the local Lustron Corporation dealership was the Modern Housing Corporation, which was owned by Charles and Bill DeWitt, owner of the Browns, for those who aren't familiar. And the DeWitt brothers moved their offices to South Brentwood in 1950. Also, the demonstration home for the St. Louis area was built here in Brentwood, up on 1100 South Brentwood Boulevard, which is the site of the University Club Tower. The three-bedroom version of the Winchester model of these homes, which is the common model you see everywhere, was very rare, and only 2 were built in St. Louis. One was on Germania on the River Des Peres, and the other was built here in Brentwood on Urban, across from, maybe you're all familiar with it, across from the Y. So the Litzinger Lustrons, as I call them, and as Barry said, is one of the largest contiguous grouping of lustrons in the entire country. There used to be a large group in the Quantico Marine Base in Virginia, but they got destroyed over 10 years ago. So we're advocating for signs at preferably both ends of the street to showcase this unique U.S. architectural history here in St. Louis. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hi. My name's Steve Johnson. As they mentioned, I own a couple of the Lustrons, as well as property on Madge that I office at. I have just a great enthusiasm for these houses. I drove by them hundreds of times going to my office and never gave them much consideration. I thought they were kind of an oddball, unique looking, but didn't care one way or the other for them too much. And then got to know one of the homeowners and the family, and the homeowner passed, and I helped the family clean out the house. And with no intentions of doing anything other than cleaning out the house, as I spent time in the house, And I looked at the layout and the efficiency of the space and the built-in closets and the built-in vanities and the doors to the bedrooms and the bathroom are pocket doors. I removed one that weighs almost 70 pounds. As they mentioned, they're entirely made of steel. I looked up recently, these houses are made of all steel, inside and out, roofs, top to bottom, about 25,000 pounds of steel to build these houses. And they're just, the quality of them is absolutely like nothing you've ever seen before. If a tornado comes through Brentwood, I think they're going to be the only thing left standing. They're absolutely amazing. But I fell in love with it, and I ended up buying it. I thought, what a great rental property, because it's essentially maintenance-free. They're porcelain enamel. Some people in the past have made the mistake of painting the soffits and fascias for the most part, and now that paint's peeling because it's on that enamel and it's coming off and peeling. But when they called and mentioned that they wanted to talk about putting a sign up, I thought, I love that, because I'm a big fan of if you change the way you think of things, the things you think of change. And when I changed the way I thought about these houses, just by kind of studying them and spending some time in them and realizing what really amazing architectural homes they are, I fell in love with them. So I think if we can highlight them a little bit and let people kind of see what they are and maybe dig up a little bit and understand what unique, amazing homes they are, I think it will go a long way with just the preservation of them for here in Brentwood. I think it's a good mark for Brentwood to have, like they said, the longest row of continuous restaurants. So hopefully we'll be able to do something. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Anybody else in the public here to address the board?
We have one online.
Okay. Whoever's online. Oh, Karen?
Hi, it's Karen, and I was not planning on speaking. I didn't know there was a Lestron presentation that was brought forward, but I can add two other, well, one, I guess, connected. Interesting thing about the Lestron homes is when the factory where they were made was one big long factory, and they'd pull in these big 18-wheelers, and then they would load up the trucks based upon how the materials would be taken off the truck at the other end. And they would construct the assembly line was constructed so that as they made the materials, it was it went on the truck in the right order, so that when the truck pulled in one end of the assembly line, when they pulled out the other end, it was fully loaded with the house, and then they drive the truck to the location and they would unload the materials in the order in which they came out to build the house. And the individual that kind of started it, to the name that Barry mentioned, he was an engineer, not a businessman. And so that's one of the reasons it didn't last longer than 2 years, because he really didn't have the savvy to keep it going. But it is a real interesting architectural housing element of our country. A lot's been written about them. So there's a lot of interesting information you can get out there about them. So I support it. I think it's a great idea.
Thank you, Karen. Anybody else? Not? I'm sorry? Nope. Okay, thank you. Then we will move on. And if I can get back to my... All right, I think next up is... Thank you. Mayor and Alderman reports while I try to get back into our program here. First up is the mayor report, and a few things. First of all, we had a very successful holiday party back on December, whatever date that was, 5th? 6th, thereabouts. Well, it was Saturday. It was very well attended, as Eric said. We think we're certain it was more than we had prior year. And we were very fortunate. We had a couple of new visitors this year, 2 reindeer that were in attendance, which was a huge crowd favorite. And so I want to thank all the staff with Eric's department putting it together, getting it all ready for the residents, as well as the staff of the city that worked it and helped serve the residents, truly embodying that public servant spirit. And it was a chance simply for us to give back to the residents for all the things that they've given us over these years. Secondly, we wrapped up the Toys for Tots, or the fire department did, on Saturday with a Fill the Ambulance event, and it looked like it was another big successful. Judging by the pictures that I saw of the boxes in the fire department, many toys were collected for distribution to some very needy children. And the Santa Parade, as you probably know, or maybe you don't for those who are watching, you all were able to complete half of it Friday night in wards 1 and 4, but we had to postpone the second part, which was scheduled for last Saturday, for wards 2 and 3 because of weather. So we have, or you all have rescheduled it for this coming Saturday, same time, 5 o'clock, again for wards 2 and 3. The Mayor's for Meals food drive is in the middle of it. It's going well also. Thank you for everybody who's taken time to swing by City Hall and make a donation, whether that be in canned goods or in monetary donation to help feed and restock the food pantries. And the last thing is, it's a very sad note. I had the privilege, as soon as I became mayor, shortly thereafter, we had a vacancy in our fire department. Chief Terry Curtin had retired or resigned, I guess he retired, and I had the privilege as the mayor to appoint the next fire chief. And I was so fortunate, I think, to have ready, willing, and able to take over our fire department, our current chief, Ronnie Cottrell. Now, I didn't think we even needed to do a national search. You know, we all knew Ronnie, and we, from our conversations with the other fire department, or with the firemen in the department, I was absolutely convinced he would be a terrific chief. And boy, was that an understatement. You know, what you've been able to do for our department, to what I thought we had a top-notch department beforehand, and you simply moved it up and made it even more of a professional organization. And Ronnie is retiring from the city of Brentwood to move on to a bigger challenge, another challenge in his professional career. And you know, I'm going to simply say that it's the other side of the state of Missouri, and they're fortunate to get you. And I'm sure I speak for the board when I say that we're going to greatly miss you, but we want to thank you for everything that you've done for the residents, for the business, and all in all for the city of Brentwood. And for the board, if you know, we are having a special meal for him at lunch on Wednesday. Hope it wasn't a surprise. Okay, that's it with the mayor's report. We'll move on to Alderman Plufka.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The public safety meeting for December 17th is going to be moved to the first week of January. We're taking up an ordinance regarding the operation of bicycles, motorized bikes, and other alternative vehicles, and it's a very comprehensive ordinance, and we're trying to make sure that we've got everything ready to go for a healthy, hearty discussion in early January, that we can bring it up to the board for review at that time.
Thank you. Alderwoman Tice.
I'll just echo thanks to Ronnie, and then I'll say more on Wednesday. And then thanks to Barry and Peter. I saw the wonderful thing on Living St. Louis when it was out. It was a great piece. So thank you all for coming and speaking to us tonight.
Thank you. Alderwoman Sims.
Echo the sentiment. Ronnie, you'll be missed. And thank you also to the staff that put on the Christmas party a week and a half ago. It was great. It was, I think, fun was had by all.
Alderman Goad.
Thank you, Chief, and no report.
Thank you. Alderman Lockmiller.
I'd like to say thank you, Chief, also. It was great when I was on Public Safety Committee working with you over the years, so you'll be missed. And Barry, as Public Works Chair, I guess I'll be getting in touch with you on your project.
Alderman Gould.
Chief, you'll definitely be missed. And thank you to staff for all the hard work you did for the Christmas party and the tree lighting and everything. I missed the tree lighting because I had a teenager that was keeping me from getting there on time. So unfortunately, I missed that. Next year, maybe. Yeah, and thank you for your discussion about the Litzinger Lustrons. It certainly has a nice alliteration, huh? So thank you.
Alderman Erger.
Thank you, Chief, and best of luck in the new role, and no other report.
Thank you. And Alderman Harder.
I too, I want to thank the chief, and I hope you're happy, and you will be really missed. So thank you. And I want to shout out to everybody in the staff. The holiday party was just wonderful. Everybody had a good time. I don't know how you worked the weather, but it turned out beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to move down to City Administrator Report, which we have none. Consent agenda. Are there any questions about any item on the consent agenda or any request to remove any of the items from the consent agenda? If not, the chair would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Plufka? Yes. Alderwoman Tice?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder?
Yes.
Alderman Erger?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Brings us down to old business. We have 4 items under that. The first up is Bill number 6574. Can we get a second read by title only, please?
Yes, amended Bill 6574, an ordinance amending provisions in Chapter 500 of Title 5 of the Municipal Code, all relating to the adoption of technical codes and miscellaneous provisions pertaining to buildings and construction.
Thank you. Essentially, this is, Whitney, you want to come on down, John? This is essentially an update to our existing building codes.
Yes, we could do a PowerPoint if you'd like us to, or just briefly run through the changes that have been proposed in the ordinance before you since the September meeting.
Well, why don't we just do the changes, because I believe you've already done this, well, you did this for us in September, and then there were Public Works meetings on this. So any changes since then?
Yeah, basically everything was pretty much still the same. We did make a couple changes. We had a 25-foot rule for fire pits, and we moved that back to 15. And then there was some question about the permits, or what actually requires a permit. And at that time, I apologize because I wasn't thinking. It's like it is in the building code, and it covers everything in the building code that we talked about. And the only thing we did take out of that was flat work, so any sidewalks, driveways like that, because we do require a permit for that. So we did remove that, but basically everything else should be pretty much the same.
On the energy chapter, if you will, because I hear a lot of talk about that from meetings that I attend.
Right.
If you could just describe briefly what's going on with that.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, I meant to bring that one up. In the residential and the building code, there's the energy things that hit, and we are presenting the energy code also. But for residential properties, almost everything in your house had to be on a timer, a motion sensor, something that would turn the lights off if you forgot to. One of the things that we thought that was going to add a lot of expense to a house, it wasn't really needed. We didn't really feel that. I think after the Public Works meeting and that too, I think their thought on that was the same thing. The only thing we did want to leave in though was for the exhaust fans in bathrooms, because of fire, and the chief can attest to that. But people turn those fans on, forget they're on. I don't know how you can, because mine's pretty loud. I can't wait to turn it off. But those are things that are a lot of the fires are from, because those fans will overheat, they'll catch on fire, and you know what goes from there. So
okay, and the one thing that I wanted you to touch on, because another area of controversy was under the energy code. Again, as I understand it, was additional insulation that is required. And some people were saying, well, that's a problem because you have to use 2x6s instead of 2x4s. But apparently, there's a way to do that you get credits for it or something like that, so you don't have to use the 2x6s.
Right. If you use a 2x4, your insulation rating is an R13 in the walls. If you go to 2x6 walls, then it does go up to R19. But that's the only time it's going to go up.
Okay, but it's not a requirement to do
Not a
that.
requirement.
Okay,
And then it's still R38s in the ceiling.
okay. Who have any questions? Yes, Alderman Lockmuller.
Yeah, staff worked with the Public Works Committee for several meetings on this, and we kind of, it's in the information here on some of the things we decided that we would pull from there. And I was just wondering if you had heard anything back as from a lot of the electrical stakeholders as far as anything additional since then?
No, and we did put in, we may have mentioned this before, but I put out there was 200 contractors that we sent notes to have a meeting with us. There was like 5 or 6 maybe contractors showed up. And then we did meet with Mr. Hoffman from Hoffman Contracting and the Heating and Cooling Contractors Association, one of the board members from there. And they were all, I think, pretty good. Matter of fact, they were at the meeting. And they were all pretty pleased with everything. And, you know, we already had things in there that they were requesting. So they were surprised that we already had them in there.
I think, Mayor, to your point about the efficiency code part of the building code, it would be like those light switches over there on the wall would all have to be on motion detectors. So, you know, that's expensive to add to a home, and, you know, every 10 minutes Octavia would have to wave her arms when the lights went on. So we just thought things like that could, instead of making them mandatory, you know, the builder can put them up as options if people wanted something like that.
Right.
But I've just got I guess why we're needing to get this done by the end of the year so they're in place by the first of the year has to do with our ISO rating. And I was wondering if our chief could speak to that and why that's important.
So thank you for that question. So the fire department is due for an ISO review in 2026 every 5 years. And so being current or within one code keeps us at maximum points. When we were reviewed in 2016, we were drastically behind and we actually lost points in our ISO review. So this is a key step in maintaining our ISO scoring.
Okay. Thank you, Ronnie.
And what does the ISO mean in terms of layman's? How does that affect us? Was it insurance or?
Insurance service organization. So they provide a rating on the Brentwood Fire Department that most insurance agents or insurance companies can then use that to apply towards rates.
And by adopting this 2024 code, it ensures that we get the best benefits on the rates.
That is correct, which we improved in our last rating in 2021.
Okay. And Whitney or John, because either of you know what the county is at right now, what code they're on?
I think they're on 2015, but they were talking about going to 2024, I believe.
Well, I
don't know if that's for sure or not, though.
Right.
They on 21?
They're on 2015, and they are seeking to go to 2021.
Right. And the only point I was going to make is I was listening to a presentation by somebody from the county. They're talking about how it's taking them about 3 years to get from 2015 to 2021. And which again kind of speaks to why we're going from 2021 to 2024.
We're going to 2018 to 2024.
2018 to 2024, and we're able to do that in a matter of, let's say we started this process in maybe June, July. I think if I remember correctly, the first meeting. And we did it though with a bunch of public hearings, had a lot of input, and so we were able to accomplish that and get that done by the end of the year. So.
Yeah, it is a lot of work, and as Bola can testify, I kept on walking in and out of her office, and and I do want to thank I want to thank my staff and the Public Works Committee. I mean, they put up with me for a couple meetings going through these slide presentations, and the help from Bola and Whitney on this. It was a group effort. Right. It really was.
Thank you. Any other questions? If not, the chair would entertain a motion to approve Bill number 6574 into ordinance form.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Plufko?
Yes.
Alderwoman Tice?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmuller?
Yes.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
Alderwoman Horder?
Yes.
Alderman Erger?
Yes.
Bill 6574 is passed and now becomes ordinance number 5204.
Great, thank you. Next up is amended Bill number 6578, which is our budget for 2026. Can we get a second read by title only, please?
Yes, amended Bill 6578, an ordinance adopting the annual budget for the city of Brentwood, Missouri for the calendar year 2026 and providing for the effective date of this ordinance.
All right. Chair would entertain a motion to approve or Bill number 6578 in the ordinance form.
So moved.
Second?
Any discussion? Okay, roll call.
Alderman Plufka. Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Bill number 6578 passed and now becomes ordinance number 5205.
Congratulations, everybody. We now have a budget. Well done. We can conduct business in 2026. Next up is Bill number 6579. Can we get a second read by title only, please?
Yes, Bill number 6579, an ordinance amending Article 1 of Chapter 505 of the Municipal Code by the addition of a new section 505.110 relating to removal of trees located in the right-of-way, city parks, and other public spaces.
All right. Chair would entertain a motion to perfect Bill number 6579 into ordinance form.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Yes, Alderman Plufka.
Is there any arrangement that's been made to try to publicize this, to make sure that people understand what this, how they're being billed and for what purposes? Because
that is in the works.
Okay. Is that something that will come to us, or will it just be something that staff will implement?
Michelle, do you want to come talk about your plans to meet with the Planning Development Department?
I'm meeting with Planning and Parks tomorrow, and we are going to discuss a marketing campaign for getting the word out about these updates. We're going to utilize social media, our e-newsletter. So we'll be working together to kind of hone our intended audience for these updates. And so it'll kind of be an ongoing project, but we will make sure that we get the word out so that the public are aware, not just contractors, but the public and anyone who may want to move into Brentwood, potentially make changes to a home at some point. So we'll be working together on that.
I know it's pretty easy to see just from looking at a schematic or a map of a piece of property or whatever, to know what's in the right of way and what's not, or what's in part within the right of way. That's explained somewhere, or that will be explained, so that people understand that if I have a tree that it's part of it extends into the right of way, but it's actually trunk is actually somewhere else. What does that mean to me in terms of, do I have full control to get rid of this tree if I want to, or do I have an obligation to the fund?
So my goal is to work with planning and development they give me that information in the professional terms, and I will make it so that anyone who's reading it will understand what those mean.
Great.
So
thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Anybody else? Okay, if not, can we get a roll call, please?
Alderman Plufka.
Yes.
Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Bill number 6579 passes and now becomes ordinance number 5206.
Thank you. And the final matter under old business is Bill number 6581. Could we get a second read by title only, please?
Yes, Bill number 6581, an ordinance repealing ordinance number 5157 and establishing a revised compensation schedule for Brentwood employees and related matters and providing for the effective date of this ordinance.
Thank you. Chair would entertain a motion to perfect Bill number 6581 into ordinance form.
Perfect 6581 into ordinance form.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? Not? Roll call, please.
Alderman Plufka.
Yes.
Alderwoman Tice.
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold.
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims.
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller.
Yes.
Alderman Gould.
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder.
Yes.
And Alderman Erger.
Yes.
Bill number 6581 passes and now becomes ordinance number 5207.
Thank you. Brings us down to new business. We have two items, both of which are resolutions. The first is resolution number 1576. Mr. City Attorney, you want to read that, or how you want to handle a resolution? No need?
Reading is not necessary.
Thank you. Who's presenting on 15? Dan. Dan, there we go.
This has been brought up at Public Works in the past. So there's a trail between 2828 and 2832 Manderley. The trail used to serve as a pathway to go between houses connecting Hilldale to Manderley. This is no longer needed. The southern half that was given to 2828, we need to get that 2.5 feet strip back so that we can correct. There's a retaining wall that's leaning, remove the asphalt that used to serve as a trail, and restore that area. So it'll be, once we get the land, then we can go ahead and fix the wall and the trail. So that's basically it.
Alderman Plufka.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 1576.
Second.
Any discussion? Yes, I'm sorry, Alderman Goad.
Thank you. And both parties have signed off on this. Both residences are.
Both parties are, we've been in a lot of discussion. One of them unfortunately had a fall, and her stepdaughter-in-law now serves as her conservator, so we've been working through her. But both parties are on board. We're still dotting a couple I's and crossing a couple T's. At one point, at least, it was the desire of both property owners to finish this within the year. So the resolution does provide for the board's approval now, and the goal is to hopefully close it by the end of the year. But they're both on board.
And just to make sure, the
in
neighbor
concept.
that had the fall that might not have been able to sign has a full.
Has a conservator.
Okay.
We're working through whether the conservatorship actually authorizes transfer of real property along with all the other conservator duties. So
This is contingent on that conservator, making sure the conservator has the authority to make.
Yeah, we will make sure that the conveyance is valid. But both parties are on board with the transaction in concept.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Alderman Plufka?
Yes.
Alderwoman Tice?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder?
Yes.
Alderman Erger?
Yes.
Thank you. Last item under new business is resolution number 1577. And Dan, are you presenting on this one too?
Yes. Precision concrete cutting, if you recall, they did a pilot program on Eulalie, so they cut any of the trip hazards between the slabs going from Brentwood Boulevard all the way to Rosalie. They also did a pilot program for Ward 4 on the private sidewalks. I know the board at Brentwood Forest liked what they saw, so they've rolled it out for all their private sidewalks. It's, I know, a little over $160,000 for themselves to be able to do that. For us, it's around $30,000. I'll take care of a little over 1,400 linear feet of trip hazards that are near trees or near the street that are in the public rights of way. So if we do this, this would take care of Ward 4. I know the company guarantees it for 3 years, so if it's more than 3/8 of a vertical difference, they'll go back in and mill that out again. So with this, you can do up to a 2-inch trip hazard, remove it without the need to remove the slabs. It gives us something else to be able to adjust sidewalk slabs besides either foam or tearing them out. So we liked what we saw with Eulalie. We'd like to move forward and do Brentwood Forest, and we can concentrate on the other 3 wards.
Chair would entertain a motion to approve resolution number 1577.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Yes, Alderman Plufka.
Dan, I'm just curious about the foam process. I mean, I know that was it was an award-winning process a few years ago. I know we.
Yeah.
But that doesn't.
We can still use that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a different company. That one's more weather dependent because of the foam. This can be done so long as it's slightly above freezing and there's no snow or any precipitation on the sidewalk slabs. The foam, I don't know what the limit is as far as the vertical, but this I know anywhere from say 3/4 inch, 2 inch, they can chop that away, make it ADA compliant for those joints. It's a little bit quicker process than the foam. But I won't abandon the foam idea. I think each one has its own little specialty, as far as what the actual conditions are.
Okay, all right, thanks.
Anybody else? Roll call, please.
Alderman Plufka?
Yes.
Alderwoman Tice?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder?
Yes.
Alderman Erger?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Thanks, Dan.
All right, thanks.
The next item, citizen comments. Again, anybody in the public care to address the board, now is the time to do so. Please state your name and you will be given no more than 3 minutes.
Ronnie Cottrell. My address is 8756 Eulalie for a few more days. I have never been more nervous standing at this podium. I was told by a friend that the waves would hit me this week, and boy, are they right. But I just want to publicly say thank you. It's been an honor. I have a few words that I've prepared for the lunch on Wednesday, but that's more directed towards my fellow employees. So having this moment with the leaders of this city, thank you for allowing me to be your fire chief.
Thank you, Ronnie. Anybody want to follow that? If not, we have a request to go into closed session pursuant to RSMO 610.021 subsection 12. Can we get a motion to that effect, please?
So moved.
Second.
And
Adjourn therefrom.
And to adjourn, thank you, Alderman Gould, and to adjourn therefrom. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Alderman Plufka? Yes. Alderwoman Tice?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gold?
Yes.
Alderwoman Sims?
Yes.
Alderman Lockmiller?
Yes.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
Alderwoman Harder?
Yes.
Alderman Erger?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you.